Hi Cancer, welcome back to my channel. It's Krista here to do your extended monthly forecast for March 2020. So this is for Cancer Sun, Cancer Moon, and Cancer Rising signs. I hope that you're enjoying your bi-weeklies on my channel in addition to your daily free reading on Instagram. Alright, so what messages are in store for Cancer March 2020? Holy smokes, time is flying. Messages for Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising for March 2020. Just for Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, March. Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising. All right, folks, so we have, as you can tell, an extended reading. So we're going to be doing a really nice Celtic cross for you today with our main deck. And then I'm going to add a second layer to flesh this out a little bit for you. So let's get your cards out, see what's going on. A lot of strong energy already, big changes. Nice. Okay, so we're dealing with a great deal of major arcana. We do have two queens, so there could be slander or maliciousness at this time. Anytime I see two queens, I see that there could be some really negative or harmful gossip at this time. So we're going to try to avoid that, okay? We're going to try to get around that, away from that, or just don't engage in that because the gossip or talk or slander could be extremely malicious or unkind at this time. I just want to throw that out there. We see two queens here. We're also dealing with several characters. So we're dealing with a couple of court cards. We have two queens, as I said, the Queen of Cups and Swords. We have the King of Wands. A lot of willpower. It's going to be very, very important to you. A true love or a gift of love or a new opportunity in love is available to you here. We do have Scorpio ruled death. 8th house energy, transformational energy. We do have the Emperor up here. We are dealing with a Aries individual. I don't know how that escaped me. Aries individual, and then some Leo. So a lot of fire, right? So we have a couple of Leo energy, some Scorpio, a lot of fixed energy here, and then some Virgo energy. Whoa, sorry about that. And then some Virgo energy as well. So a little bit of contemplation. Little bit of going within, being your own light, being your own best ally could be of major importance. Let's look at the bottom of the deck. Energy, we do have the, I hope that didn't move too much. Oh, I'm going to move it a little bit this way, guys. Didn't mean to bump that. All right, moving along, 8 of Wands. So this is actually really lovely. It looks like March is going to be filled with a lot of communication, a lot of rushing messages, a lot of important messages, a lot of communication, generally regarding your direction, right? And the 8th is really leveling up. You're really in charge of something here. Someone's put you in charge of something. You feel very, very confident about this communication. At this time, the cards representing you, Cancer, in the month of March are actually extremely strong personality types as well. So we have a male and female, or masculine and feminine energy. We have the Queen of Cups and the King of Wands. Technically speaking, these are Cancer Leo energies, or 4th and 5th house energy, something you have to do with the creativity in the home. We do have the Queen of Cups looking directly at the King. He's sort of like looking a little bit at her. So this is a really nice union. If this is a love reading for you, I would say that there's a great possibility for a loving union. If this is you, strictly you, this is you really balancing out your emotional and your self-willed or self-propelled success, right? And we do have the Sun, which is how you're representing yourself and how you feel about yourself here. So you could very well feel on top of the world here, guys. You could feel very confident. There could be a lot of entrepreneurial energy having to do with your emotional world. You could be creatively successful. You could be in the spotlight, but your will to power is very, very strong. You can bring your emotional world into the light, or, you know, represent this, or in a drama could be a major theme as well, right? We are dealing with two dramatic signs. So drama, if you're in the arts, for example, this would be an exceptionally lucrative month for you as well. So crowning the situation, what this is in relation to is an Aries individual or you being the boss of something. So technically Emperor is, you know, someone who's in charge of something. I'm going to read this, that this is all about you. Again, as a general reading, you know, I don't know what's going on in your personal life, so just use these readings in application to whatever you're experiencing. But it looks like you're in charge, or you're looking for someone to be in charge, or you're being asked to be put in charge, but you're really comfortable in this position. If this is someone outside of you, if this is an Aries individual in your world in the month of March, this person is going to be very, very potent to you, very important to you. They're going to help lead the way. This is a really positive direction. Aries people have a lot of really good advice. So you could have a lot of advice at this time. We do have mirroring it, certainly at the foundation at least, we do have this, you know, death card. So while death doesn't typically mean a physical death, there is a new beginning here as well, and there is a moment of suspension around this type of energy. So I'm not going to knock that completely down. You could even have something that feels like a death, something that feels like maybe the end of something, but something new comes from it, right? Remember when we see the death, and I'm looking at that here, you know, this is all about the phoenix. This is coming back stronger. So if this is a relationship with an Aries, or a relationship with you as the boss or with your boss, you know, there is something that's turning over. There is a new direction. There is something that can be regenerated here. Something may never be the same again, but it can be generated into the next level. You could be leveling up here because, like I said, at the foundation, so beneath it all is a major transformation, right? There could be a loss of innocence. There could be, I would say, a repositioning of power and control. There could be a repositioning that isn't necessarily stunning or upsetting to you. It could be well accepted. This could be even something that you've directed, something that you are necessarily excited about, but definitely new opportunities, or something that fills your heart could be very, very positive here as well. But 8th house, right? So Scorpio ruled 8th house. Around the death card, we're dealing with you know, shared finances. We're dealing with endings, beginnings, sex, death, and rebirth. I guess there's some major terms around that. But shared finances, so there could be something having to do with assets around an Aries individual or around a boss. Someone just could be, you know, reconfiguring a work or employment situation, or being in charge of something. Very interesting nonetheless. It'll be cool to get another layer on top of that and see what's you know, flesh these cards out a little bit. Here in your recent past is the Hanged Man. So this is a moment of suspension, a period of suspension. Could be surrender. There could be a spiritual enlightenment. Seeing things from a different perspective is very, very important for you here. You could have to see things in a different way. You could be more confident and comfortable seeing things in a different way, at least, you know, leading into or by the, you know, the end of the first week of the month here. But something is going to grab your attention, and you could be put in a position, right, because he's hung upside down here. In some of the artwork, it looks like he's been walked into a little bit of a trap. You know, if that's the case, especially with a lot of communication here, you know, watch for traps. Look for the past to help guide you. You know, don't get stuck in old patterns or paths or situations here. Because we're looking at, you know, the death of something. We're looking at the major transformation around something from the past having been suspended, right? And the language of love is really important here in your near future, right? We have this Ace of Cups, and this is always a new beginning, but a language of love, a new beginning in love, a new offer, an opportunity here to express yourself in a really meaningful, innocent way, right? There's a great deal of innocence here because it's so new, it's fresh, it's just, its whole purpose is love. And it could be that that's the choice, right? If you do have one, it looks like your outcome or your advice card is to make a choice based on the truth here. You could have something made for you. There is a little bit of coldness here by the end of it. You could be, fearful of being considered an ice queen here, but it'll be interesting to see in the second layer, just in terms of what the choice is around. Is it around like kindness or truth? Like, can we mesh those two worlds? You are feeling really confident. The way you're presenting yourself here is hyper confident, I would say. This is how you are representing yourself. It's the sun, so a great deal of success. This could have to do with a child. Either you are the child, or you're dealing with a child, or there's a child involved. But ultimately, this is life affirming. This is life giving. Whenever we see the sun, however, we do see something being split wide open, right? We see something that is perhaps something in the shadows, or something that was unknown or unreachable or too deep, or unavailable at some point. Maybe we felt like we couldn't talk about it because we had to wear the veneer of power somehow. Something is going to be split wide open. There's going to be a shedding of skin. Something's going to be revealed. But this is always nice to see here, right? Because it's in correlation here with this King of Wands. So truth is already king to you. I think that you consider this a passion and maybe even a spiritual sense of self. So it's not even like you're not worried about necessarily what it looks like you somewhat are, but I think this is how other people could be perceiving you, or how you expect other people to perceive you. Even though you're full of life, you're full of love, you're full of emotional availability, truth is really, really important to you. Exposing something is really important to you. And you could just be up against, someone who doesn't agree with you. We have the card representing the position of how others are seeing you. And this is introspection, right? This is quiet solitude. This is going off on your own. This is inner wisdom. We do have Ascension number 9 here. So, people see you as very competent. Others around you see you as very competent, just maybe a little bit mysterious. Never thought I'd say that with the Hermit card, but we do have, the Death card here is a great mystery. How other people are seeing you is someone who is maybe spiritually advanced, maybe someone who would rather be quiet, maybe close the door, maybe talking isn't that important to you, even though a great rush of communication is imminent. This is your hopes and fears, right? The Divorce Queen. So she's extremely wise, but it looks like there could be, why would someone, including you, be confusing a full heart and a loving spirit and someone interested in the truth and wisdom be considered cold? Well, it's because other people haven't caught up with you, or other people don't see things the same way, or maybe you are really advanced and people can't catch up and you need to meet your tribe. But I don't think you should say sorry necessarily for being in touch with yourself and for being, someone who practically wears their heart on their sleeve and is interested in willpower and, entrepreneurship and helps themselves. This is extremely independent energy. So you could just be around somewhat weaker people, or people who don't see the same things the same way you do. And this could be you as well. If it has nothing to do with other people in your life, this could be maybe a little sort of inner argument you have. So your advice or outcome card here, as you can see, is the Two of Swords. So this is just a little bit of a decision here, guys. It's not entirely complicated when we see the Two of Swords. I do find with the Two of Swords, there is an easy access to a second option. So just make a choice. And if it doesn't work out, another option will be provided to you. It's just about making a choice. And it will be based on truth. However, we do have this full heart here, or an opportunity of love, and then this decision based around, say, attitudes or beliefs. Let's get another layer and get a little deeper into this, guys. Okay, I'm dealing with a lot of queens here, folks. Another death card. Major, major, major transformations around a major wish, okay? Bottom of the deck energy, 9 of Cups, in association with our 8 of Wands. A major wish coming through via communication. Very fast, sudden, but very thrilling communication. Major wishes could very well be fulfilled for you in the month of March. Super crazy, I know, but a little bit of conflict. There's a lot of swords here. Communication. Telling the truth, having courage, making sure someone doesn't get away with something. Someone's going to try to get something on you. Here's our other ace. Truth is king here, guys. Truth needs to be king. Rushing messages. Someone who's intellectually superior here. Witty. It could just be a little, there could be some major communication conflicts here around ideas and thoughts and belief systems. I'm going to just look at, so we are looking at 4 queens, okay? We have 2 at the beginning, and we have our Queen of Wands and Queen of Swords representing you. And this is absolutely arguments. So slander, maliciousness, arguments. No wonder you want to stick to yourself. Don't do this if it's about entrapment. Don't do this if it's about avoiding something. This is crazy. And then the death is over the sun. Okay, so let's go one by one because I really wasn't expecting to see these. Queen of Wands and Queen of Swords representing you, right? Over the Queen of Cups and King of Wands. So we're dealing here with technically 1st and 7th house energy, something having to do with yourself and then your relationships, partnerships, right? And we do see the Queen of Swords back over here. So I know that you're self-directed. I know that you're the boss. You can be accused of being cold, but you're so self-satisfied and you're so independent at this point that someone, I can't help but suggest that someone might be confused or bothered by that. Someone in your environment, an old part of yourself, an actual partner, a parent or child. Someone may not have caught up to you and finds it uncomfortable. More information is definitely needed at this time. Difficult communications are probably going to be had here. I don't know if you're really going to see eye to eye. I do see a second opportunity here because we have endings and beginnings sort of finishing up your reading. So all right, let's keep going. Ace of Swords over the Emperor. So yeah, truth is king here, right? So we have another opportunity for a victory. There's a major victory around a communication or a thought or belief system here. So this could be at work. If this is not about relationships, then it's strictly about work. Make sure you tell the truth. Make sure you have evidence for something. Don't get caught up in gossip. Don't give anyone any ammunition would be the way I would put that as well. If you are an underling at work, for example, really follow things to a T right now. Don't try to invent something new on your own or get away with something would be some really, really good advice. If you have to take sides, maybe see your way out. See yourself out because there's no winning if it comes to someone else who just isn't at your level. It's like a radio station, right? You can't get the frequency. Someone's not on your frequency. And because they're not, and they see where you are, they're not digging it, and that's going to create conflict for them, and they're going to try to make it uncomfortable for you. Now, Cancer, if that isn't happening to you, you could be doing that to someone else, I just want to mention that as well. Or it just could be happening in your environment. It is a general reading. Knight of Swords on top of the Death card, right? So major transformation around rushing energy, around being a little bit glib, around sharing information, being knowledgeable, intelligence, quips. This is someone who's a little bit of a wordsmith. So yeah, and we do have the Ace qualifying the Emperor just above it. And as I said, this mirrors that. So, you know, watch what you say. Watch what you say. Maybe even if it is the truth and someone's not at your level, you know, try to contain yourself a tiny bit. And it also could just be that this isn't fun anymore, right? It does sit on top of transformation. It's like a new way of communicating or getting along could be imminent. Right over our Hangman in your recent past is the Five of Swords. So the fives are always chaos and conflict. It's necessary, but it's a good starting position for change, to be honest with you. We kind of want to be here if we want to see significant positive changes. But there's a winner and a loser here, right? So something's in suspension. Maybe you're withholding something. Someone's withholding something from you. Communication is definitely being affected at this time. At least by the end of the second week. We have the Seven of Swords over the Ace of Cups. What is this about? This really does seem to be a conflict between your mind and your heart, or someone else's, say, sense of reality or their own truth that isn't in alignment with a purity of heart or a sense of innocence here. So these are definitely in conflict. There could be a sense of courage here. You could be trying to expose something. We do have the Sun. You could be trying to expose something and you're accused of doing it the wrong way, or you're accused of not doing it right, or someone doesn't see your point of view, even though you're coming from a good space. But if this is a relationship reading, I would just suggest that you find evidence for something. If you're going to be accuse anyone of anything, or if someone's accusing you, you're just like, you know, make sure there's evidence here, guys. Pardon me. So over the Sun here is the Death card, right? So, you know, again, major transformation. This is one of the oldest, I would say this is Pamela Coleman. I forget who did the artwork on this. Anyway, there is a real acceptance, like something larger than you is going to outlast, right? So something's going to outlast you. But the Death card here over the Sun, right? And this is in the position that you are presenting yourself as. Maybe you're not convinced of it. Maybe you don't feel like being in the spotlight. Maybe a major transformation about being in the spotlight is imminent as well. Maybe a rebirth of being in the spotlight, or being successful, you know, just allowing that in your life. It is interesting to see the Death card over the Sun, because the Sun shines the light on everything. So it shines the light on a transformation or a transformative event here. Something is extraordinarily unavoidable here within, you know, removing yourself from the shadows. We do have the Devil over top the Hermit. Very interesting to see that as well. Of course, we know that this is Capricorn over Virgo. You know, this is very down to earth. This is the body. This is the real world. This is things you can touch, taste, smell, feel, and hear. This is the senses. It could be money. It could be income. And there could be, basically what the Devil is talking about is addictions. It's talking about codependency. It's talking about obsessions. But essentially it's talking about binding, like being bound to something, feeling like you have something hanging over you. This is the opposite of feeling free, feeling like you have no choice. And you could even be getting a little bit of pleasure out of this, or it could have given you pleasure at one time, but it doesn't now, or it feels like overwhelming. It is very interesting to see it over the Hermit though, guys. I'm very curious about that. So you'll have to comment below and let me know what's really going on here for you guys. Devil over the Hermit, Capricorn and Virgo. Something having to do with the body. In a very practical sense, this could be work related. We're dealing with 6th house energy here, your actual work world. This is about perfectionism, the weeding things out. This is health and nutrition. And then the devil is really looking at 10th house energy, our public perception, our status quo, how we're perceived by the public, our public face. So something having to do with health and how we are, you know, integrating into the professional or public world. It also could have strictly to do with income and finance. Page of Swords over top of this Queen of Swords. So yeah, this is like needing more information. This is study. This is research. This is someone coming to conclusions a little bit too quickly. They're really bright. This is a really bright energy. It's technically speaking a younger person than you, or younger energy than you. But excuse me, you know, it's over. They're 2 swords, so these are in cahoots. They are comfortable with each other. But again, if in your hopes and fears positions, you feel like you might not have enough information. And it could be from clinging to something, or maybe spending too much time alone. And, you know, it could be something that's going on there as well. Maybe you've secluded yourself, and you need to be able to communicate or get more information. Wheel of Fortune is your advice or outcome card. It does sit on top of this decision that you're being asked to make. And the Wheel of Fortune is something that is really positive for you. So we're looking at a 10. We're looking at major endings and beginnings. This is a major completion, right? Something has to come to an end. Something has to be finalized by the end of the month for you. And it will be the decision you make. I know that I said that before I laid the second layer, that when we have 2s, so decision making at the bottom of the totem, technically, the 2 of Swords usually strikes me as a decision you can make, and even if it's not the best or the one you want to stick to, it's something you can choose again. But because we see death twice, and because the Wheel of Fortune, which is a completion card, over the 2 of Swords, it does appear as though this decision is going to be final. Oops, don't want 20 jumping out. Pretty intense reading though, guys, I gotta say, for sure. This is so many cards. I guess we're taking them. And we'll get this guy. Yeah, major transformations. Wow, you have a lot of extra advice cards. All right, let's see if I can do this before we stop recording. And then these over here. Did I pull from the same deck? Okay. Where's my, oh. Just give me a second here, guys. I'm totally derping out. This, oh my word. I did forget a deck. I have so many, I usually only have one from each deck, so I'm looking at like a million cards here. Let's get one more card for you. Nice. Okie dokie. We have To Be Fair, Poised, and Soulmates. Out of our Wisdom of the Oracle. Yeah, soulmates is knowing that your heart is in the right place. At least one other person believes in you. At least you have support by one other person who is really, really on your side. You can count on them. Poised is really being in a position of establishment. You can really carry yourself independently here. And then To Be Fair is something hangs in the balance, right? Something is very, very important. It could even be very fragile at this time. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's fragile with your soulmate. It means that you're protected, right? No matter what happens here. But you do have what it takes. You can move forward confidently here. So we have Antelope and Weasel, right? So we have action, and then we have, regrettably, I forget what Weasel means, which is a little embarrassing, but Weasel. Can't really remember. Let's just go Antelope. So action. Action should be taken here. Our action is going to create a lot of steam. Weasel, I'm going to suggest, just because I can't remember his keyword for some reason. I've been reading all day. Forgive me. Weasel is really looking at trying to get away with something. What can you get away with? What's someone around you trying to get away with? Taking action to avoid that could be a major theme here as well. Get into the heart of the matter, right? All these swords, all this like death and sun. It's like We got to get out of the shadows about something here. So worth waiting for, and then wedding. Holy smokes, guys. So divine timing is at work in your love life, and this situation involves marriage. So yeah, contracts. I would even say shared finances. 8th house energy is extremely strong right now, right? You know, sex, death, rebirth, shared finances, assets, legacies, wills and estates. But worth waiting for. So there's no need to rush anything. Just be really confident and comfortable in who you are and what you believe and how you feel. Someone's marriage is involved in this reading, yours or someone else's. You could just be on completely different sides to your partner around an issue within your own relationship. And this is actually not so absurd if you look at it that way, because this is pretty common. You're not your partner. You're supposed to have different opinions. But it could be about a married couple, or you're choosing sides of someone's marriage. So the wife or husband within a marriage. And then serenity. Serenity is really important here as well. I would remember it in relation to divine timing. You know, I just try to have patience about the issue. Try not to rush anything. Be prepared to getting a wish fulfillment, though. Something really positive could be happening for you in a very real, tangible, and long-lasting way. So try to remain confident and, you know, believe in the best. You know, expect miracles at this time here, Cancer, because it does look like a little bit of a little bit of excitement, a little bit of drama, but nothing you can't handle. And I do think it's all going to work out. Just stay focused on your highest intentions, and don't let anyone screw you around. Be really honest and expect honesty. So if you liked my video about your reading today, make sure you like and share this video with your friends and family. Subscribe if you haven't. I'm posting daily on Instagram. You can get a daily reading there, and then comment. I love hearing from you. Thanks so much for joining me, guys. See you in the next video. Bye for now. Hi Gemini, welcome back to my channel. It's Krista here to do your extended March 2020 forecast. This is a general reading for Gemini Sun, Gemini Moon, and Gemini Rising signs. So I hope that you're enjoying your bi-weeklies. This is going to be a fairly lengthy extended general reading for you. We're looking at our Celtic cross today. We're going to double up with another deck. And you get 4 oracle cards today in your reading as well. So grab a snack, buckle up. Let's see what's in store for Gemini. Gemini Sun, Moon, Rising for March 2020. Gemini, March 2020. Messages for Gemini, March 2020. Gemini need to know for March. All right, folks. Let's get your cards laid out. Should be fairly easy to see everything with this new layout here. I am a little excited that you can finally see these cards a little better. Put that down here so you can see it a tiny bit better. Alright, so right off the bat, we're dealing with a couple of 2s. Some decision needs to... Okay, never mind. 3 2s. Bear with me. I'm going to get a little bit of a feedback around 3 2s here to get an idea for you. Reorganization could be a major focus for you in the month of March here, guys. Nothing upsetting. In fact, it could be rather exciting for you. So, reorganization, we're looking at Wands, Swords, and Pentacles. So something having to do with what you do for work or what's a passion for you. Ideas, concepts, communication, and then possibly money or investments or something having to do with value. So that's really nice. Reorganization can be extremely exciting. Right off the bat, we are dealing with a couple of characters. We have the King of Wands, we have the Queen of Cups. So technically that's a Cancer and a Leo, or we could just be dealing with water and fire signs right now, Gemini. We have the Taurus ruled Hierophant. We technically have Cancer individual or 4th house energy showing up twice. sort of back to back here. But again, really lovely, right? This is someone who's somewhat sensitive and appealing. They can be accused of being moody, but you know, that's what a Cancer person is. But that's going to change. That changes really quickly. And their moodiness generally depends on it's the result of their sensitivity, so they really can't be faulted for that. And again, this could be you or a person in your environment. It is a general reading. We do have a Magician down here. Can be a little tricky. You could be, you know, employing some sense of trickery or self-deception, but ultimately it's going to work for you. It's not necessarily a bad thing. You're going to have to pull something together at the last minute, but ultimately could be pretty exciting, frankly. Bottom of the deck energy, really quickly, 2 of Wands, right? So you're going to have to pick a direction. Which direction are you going in? Like I said, we do have reorganization with all these 3 twos. Twos on their own is a choice, so excuse me. So it's just a matter of choice here, guys. And because we're low on the totem, we're dealing with a 2. It doesn't look like it's going to be, you know, catastrophic or upsetting or anything like that. You could just be inviting something new